Hey guys, it's Dawn here, and today I want to talk about this leash that I got for my wheel. This is a leash or a tether, and it is to be used at low speeds to prevent him from running away from me. I found that now when I jump off of him to bail, then he remains very balanced and he just keeps going. After a few of those, I was just afraid that he was going to run off without me and get into trouble, and I didn't want that happening. So I started looking into leashes. There are a bunch of guys already using leashes with their wheels. You can also use it for like the one wheel and probably other PVs because they like to run away. Now in crashes, gets a little bit more complicated, a little bit more hairy because a leash or a tether, especially if it's attached to you securely, just adds a whole nother set of complications, of potential dangers along with it. But what I would be using it for is purely low speed stuff. If I'm going like right now, I'm just learning, so I just don't want him to run away from me. I am being super duper careful with him. So when I ride and stuff, I don't want to fall, I don't want to crash, I don't want to hurt him, I don't want to hurt myself, and so I'm basically riding at maybe 20% of my capacity. So if I feel at all scared, I want to just be able to bail. And like I said, he now, I'm bailing in such a balanced manner, which is awesome, but it makes it so that he just keeps going. So that's what I'm using it for. Can we abuse this? Yes. Can we use it in a very unsafe manner? Yes. So that's kind of what I want to go over. Now, there are many different types of leashes that you can use, right? There isn't anything specifically made to be a leash, but people are using kayak tethers or a dog leash or things like that. When I was looking at different options, you have the option of going with a straight, like a dog leash. There's a straight piece of rope. Now, to me, the downfall of that is that with a straight piece of rope, any kind of force exerted on one end is going to be felt directly on the other end. With elastic, that's not true. The elastic will absorb that. So if I jerk really hard over here, by the time that force is eaten up by the elastic, I feel very little on the other end. So that is definitely a plus. That is a big plus because I don't want to feel all of the force of him directly on my body. How I'm attaching this to me, what I got was from the MoTowWhee. It's the MoTowWhee brand, and the MoTowWhee brand was made to pull bicycles. Like if you have an adult, you can pull a child's bike up. I don't know, what are they doing? Are they skiing? They're skiing and one person is pulling the other. And then you have the motor bikes, and this is the Moto. So this one, the black one, is made for motorbikes. He also has a bunch of different, where is it? He has a bunch of different ones. I don't know if you're seeing it or not. So I'll just tell you. Red one is for kids, one size fits all. Blue one is the winter all-season MoTowWhee. The green one is the adult MoTowWhee. The black one is the MoTowWhee. It's like a charcoal gray. Matches with him perfectly. And then he also has another one for water sports too. And he's coming out with different ones. I spoke with the owner of MoTowWhee, and made in the US as well, so that's great. Spoke with the owner. He actually rides a one wheel, and he can use this and he totally approves of this as a use for as I've described it, a low speed leash or tether. Okay, so that was really great that I got his approval. These are rated at 1,000 pounds. It can hold 1,000 pounds, and you really want to know the brake force. So a lot of the kayak tethers or surfboard tethers or stuff like that, you gotta think about, if it doesn't say what the brake strength is, that is how much force before brakes. Okay, if it doesn't say the brake strength, then it wasn't made to withstand a lot of force, because the purpose it was made for was just as a very light leash, then, you know, we're dealing with quite a bit of force here. I mean, we have to figure in our combined weight into mass. So that's combined. And then plus your speed, plus whatever other turbulence and all that. And then, you know, that's quite a bit of force. So this is rated at 1,000 pounds, roughly. And so it's kind of made for this purpose, towing motorbikes and stuff like that. So that's why I wanted to go with this. I went for elastic. Now, the elastic comes with a whole other set of problems. Not problems, just potential issues that you want to be aware of. So elastic, one of the nice things about elastic is that it's kind of predictable, at least for the first force. You have your elastic, you have your you're now loaded it up with potential stored energy, and it releases, and it always releases in a straight line. It'll go in a straight line this way, it'll also go in a straight line back at you. So if it breaks, you just want to keep in mind that it's going to break in a straight line back at you, so that you know where it's going to travel to. And do you want that hitting you? So you don't want it by your eyes, right? You want it somewhere low down. Hopefully you've got protective gear like heavy duty gloves and stuff like that. You want to make sure that every time you stretch elastic, it could get little micro tears in it. Elastic definitely has a lifespan. It doesn't like a lot of cold. It doesn't like a lot of heat. A lot of heat makes it go soft. A lot of cold makes it brittle. You know, you don't want to get it wet and dry. It dries out over time. It breaks down. It can only take so many repetitions before it breaks, and it can handle nice, slow, steady much better than a quick, sudden, full force jerk. Okay. So understanding the forces of the or characteristics that you're dealing with the elastic is definitely useful for safety. Now this is great because the elastic is inside of this very nice strong material. The stitching is great and sturdy, and then it's inside. So even if the elastic breaks on the inside, the outside rope will still hold firm. I also like that this one, instead of if you use like a leash material that's a flat nylon, the flat nylon might be able to fit into the wheel well and get caught into the wheel, go inside, you know what I mean? Much easier chance than this, which doesn't want to go, because that elastic cord is a nice thick circle. So I like the shape and all that. Can it still, in a crash situation where just about anything can be possible, and a lot of times the most improbable things still somehow manage to be in the chaos of a crash, right? Could it still get in there or get somehow wrapped up inside and hurt things, maybe kill him? That is a possibility, I suppose. A much greater possibility is that if this is fully extended out, like you crash, he shoots out way ahead of you, he gets pulled back by your leash or whatever, right? And then he starts doing a death spin, and then this somehow touches the death spin. The friction of that tire will cut through this, and then it will come shooting back at you. If it comes shooting back at you, I would hope that I'm wearing nice heavy-duty gloves. I'm holding this somewhere down away from me. I'm paying attention to the trajectory in which it is returning back, and I not like having it by my eyes or my face or anything like that, right? So there is that. You also want to make sure that your leash isn't hard sewn into any kind of metal. That's another great thing about this MoTowWhee. the ends, the all throughout, there is no metal on it. The reason is because metal buckles, especially metal buckles that are come as accessories and not as safety, actual safety equipment. Like if you go to Home Depot and get a carabiner clip, a lot of those cheapo ones for $1, they're rated at 75 or 75 pounds. That's it. 75 pounds of strength. If you use that carabiner, and this is already 70 pounds plus you know, that's going to break. And when it breaks, if it breaks, the weak spot of buckles and stuff tends to be in their corners. If it breaks, then you could have two pieces, minimum. One piece goes that way. One piece is still attached to this possibly, and then if you have a metal piece attached to the end and it returns back to you with the metal piece, that is not a good situation. I know he's all twisted up, but trying to illustrate my point here. Elastic can be deadly, especially elastic with a metal piece on the end of it. So I really like this because it doesn't come with any metal on it. It is just this. Now they have all these different to attach it. I'm just looping it through really quick and easy to attach and detach. It's not a big bulky, and that's the other reason why I like the elastic. If you use a straight rope, if you have a 6-foot rope, you have a 6-foot rope. That's it. With this, with the elastic, I have this one is a 6-foot rope, and it extends to 16 feet. Extends to 16 feet and comes back down to 6 foot. So when I'm not using it, I have it wrapped around me. It'll be wrapped around my waist because I'm going at 1 mile an hour, and I just have this little bit. So I have a little bit. Now you can go with a shorter rope. The other rope that the owner of MoTowWhee actually recommended was the blue one, the all season one, I think it's called. And that one is only 5 feet long. So that one is already shorter. I wanted to go with the Moto because the Moto they said that it is stronger because they are factor in the greater weight and strength of being able to tow motor vehicles. Plus I like the color. Plus, so I think it's stronger. Oh, plus with the more weight, it can suck up more force. If that makes any sense. Force has to go somewhere. It has to, so in a crash or whatever, in a safe situation, you transfer that force into something else. So instead of having it all go into impact. Elastic is going to eat up some of that force, and I like that about elastic. Also, sliding will dissipate force, use up that force into sliding instead of just impact. With this, people will be able to just pull it down, get him down to the ground instead of boom, 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 boom. If you go over a cliff, now you have something to hang on to and pull him back up. If he has a trailing tail behind him, even if I can't catch him, I might be able to catch the end of the tail and rein him back in. Things like that. So that's why I kind of wanted the longer one to experiment with and all that. The shorter one would be nice because then there's nothing to tangle up in. If we were going at high speeds and he tumbles, I've been watching a lot of crash videos because that's what I do. big part of my research and safety is to watch crash videos and figure out what body parts get damaged, what parts get damaged here, what happens when they fall and crash, how does he react. So I found out that if the person face plants in front of him, he will usually run over them or jump tumbling up over them, and that's actually dangerous because it can hit you. These pedals are deadly. So these, if those pedals, get you at force, at speed, into your ribs, into your sides, whatever, and now you have a rope attached to him too, and it's attached to you, will that get tangled in you? If it gets tangled around your neck, around your finger, around your wrist, and then pulls, stuff like that. But if you can get a hold of him and control him, get him down to the ground, that's also good. Let's see. Quick releases. You want to make sure that your quick release actually works as a quick release. I wouldn't recommend any kind of metal because metal is not as strong as rope, so metal will often break, and when it breaks, then you have metal debris. If you have metal attached to you in any way, your keys attached to your belt loop or things like that, in a crash, any metal is going to become a weapon against you, against your body as that metal digs into you. So, I'm looking at quick release options, and hook and loop is actually a really good quick release because if it has different strengths too. So if you only have a little bit of hook and loop attached, it only has a little bit of strength, a break force. You put more attached, plus then the different types. It's basically the surface area that this is grabbing onto versus the pull force that you're exerting on either end. But yeah, this is much stronger. But this is also good because even when it's completely taut, you can still pull this apart like that. So hook and loop is actually one of my most favorite quick releases. It definitely acts as a quick release this way, and it's safe and it's soft, and you are able to release it in a completely taut situation. Something that people often don't think about is they go, oh, well, a carabiner is so quick and easy. See, I can just do this all day long. Yeah, but can you do that when it is completely taut? How are you going to do it if you can't, Okay, so make sure that your quick release is actually a quick release. Attaching this with a carabiner to your belt loop might not work that well. Belt loops on your pants are really not made to withstand any kind of force at all. Belt loops are only made, I think, to hold the belt. So usually the belt loop will just pull right out and tear a big hole in your pants, which might suck if you have really nice pants. But so you got the belt loop as your weakest point, and then secondary to that would be the buckle. That would be your other weak point, and then the rope itself is going to be one of your strongest. Rope is extremely hard to break this way, which leads to my other safety point. If you're going to ever use any kind of rope products for anything, be aware to never loop it around, because when this gets pulled taut, it can break. It can break your hand, it can break your fingers or your wrists and stuff like that. You want to maybe have a way to make sure that it doesn't cinch down, and you want to have a good knife that can cut through rope, and usually that would be one of those curved shaped knives that's serrated. Serrated blades are much better at cutting through rope than a smooth blade. And you want to have that on hand if you're going to start having any kind of rope things that can get tangled or whatever. You need to quickly, easily cut it. All right, so I'm running out of time. I think I went over all of the major safety issues. Just be careful with it. This in itself, they say, for user safety, do not exceed a speed of 8 miles an hour or 13 kilometers per hour. To prevent damage, do not use in temperatures below 10 degrees Fahrenheit or negative 12 degrees Celsius. This one is 6 inches in slack, 6 feet slack, 16 feet extended. The Moto, it's made in the US. They have a 1-year warranty. They have many different products and accessories, and it's kind of one of the things that's more made for this use than any other products that I found out there. So I'm definitely happy that I went with this. I'm happy with the quality and all that. But just do your research before you just attach any willy-nilly rope to you and your wheel, because there are a lot of potentials for danger in this. Make sure you know the brake strength, and you take care of your rope, and you understand that if it's elastic, it can retract back at you at great speed and force, and that'll just be dangerous, and all that. All right, I think that's it. Otherwise, I really love the Leash. It is very handy to me. I don't want to lose mine down off a cliff and stuff like that. If it is avoidable, I would love to avoid the issue of losing my wheel, having it go into traffic or hitting other people or stuff like that. Just gives me a little bit more control when used at slow speeds. So there you go. Thank you for joining me. Let me know your thoughts in comments, and if you have any suggestions on how to make this safer or anything like that, share with me, because I'm still learning too. So there you go. Thanks for watching and joining me today, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.